Going to question 2 now. This is a vocab question. It's asking us for the word that will fill the space. And for vocab questions, you want to invent your own word to fill the space before you look at the answer choices. So let's start reading to be able to do that. It's by no means blank to recognize the influence of this painter on this other painter's paintings. Indeed, one of the guys cited the other guys as an inspiration. However, scholars have suggested that the ancient poem that's being mentioned here may have had a far greater impact on the work. So let's take this apart. In this part right here, we're seeing support to the idea that that connection that was mentioned in the first sentence was a really obvious connection. So based on that green part there, what we're seeing is that Bosch had a huge influence on Ali's paintings. Indeed, Ali himself cited Bosch as an inspiration. So what we're looking for right here is the idea that Bosch had a huge impact, that it makes a ton of sense to recognize the influence of Bosch on Ali's work. So now dealing with the double negative part of it, it's by no means wrong. Because if we're seeing that Bosch did have a huge impact on Ali, so saying it in the positive would be Bosch had this giant impact. Saying it in sort of the double negative is it's not a wrong thing to say that Bosch had this influence on Ali. So we're talking about a very big presence of double negatives on the SAT and how you really need to kind of take your time and piece those apart. You have a little bit more time on the SAT than other types of tests, like the older SAT or the ACT. And it's never enough time on a standardized test. You never have quite enough time for everything you want to do, but you do need to know where to slow down and sort of be really systematic to avoid little mistakes. So if we're looking for wrong, looking at the answer choices, substantial means meaningful, satisfying is not the same as wrong. Unimportant, that's going to end up being the answer. We don't love it, but we don't hate it. And appropriate means right. So maybe you can think of appropriate, satisfying, and substantial all as right. And so the closest one, and the one we'll end up picking, is C, because it's saying it's by no means the wrong thing, or it's by no means a bad thing or an unimportant thing. So just the fact that it's negative is kind of what makes it the answer. So the answer here is C.